Number 13, the most important news of the week. The recent issue of Game Informer contains a bunch of new details about the upcoming PS4 game Infamous Second Son, my most anticipated PS4 game. I assume yours as well?
Correct.
Yours?
No.
Which one is yours?
I like the valley with all the blue cubes in it.
I was going to say, I knew that joke was coming.
No, I actually really liked the, what's...
Knack.
Knack.
Knack
looks awesome.
In short, the main character is a 24-year-old Native American named Delson Rowe. His powers have to do with smoke, which sounds really cool. And he apparently can use things like chimneys to like get his power. So like Cole would run around, whatever, New Murray, and use like cars and electrical poles. Like he can use chimneys and like that to get his power. And apparently it's like much rarer. So
is he like British in like 1920s?
He's a chimney sweep. Oliver Twist.
Why don't people just not use their fireplaces? Problem solved. That guy's gone. Don't smoke.
Got to stay warm.
Yeah.
But what I like
He's just like huffing so many cigarettes. What
I like about it, I don't really know how exactly it works.
We haven't seen the game. I'm free.
We haven't seen the game being played yet, but it's cool. Apparently, you have to be really careful because you don't get a lot of power. So he has this chain melee weapon that he uses too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the amp. The game takes place in Seattle, so it's the first time that it's a real city, not a city name, modeled after a city. And this is a spoiler, so you have 2 seconds to turn this off. The game assumes that the good ending of Infamous 2 is canon. So, so you played it, right?
Yes.
So Cole dies, right, at the end of the good ending. And Cole is dead in Infamous Second Son. If you do the bad ending of Infamous 2, then he becomes the Beast, right? Yeah. And we assume that could be a whole other game. It would actually be cool if they did like an alternate history Vita version where Cole becomes the Beast. So that's exciting. I'm very excited about it.
It's gonna be. I don't know how they're gonna write their way out of it, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to explain to everybody that didn't finish 2 that they should have finished 2 because here's what's happening.
Yeah, because the beginning of the game, Delson sees apparently the remaining conduits are like enemies of the state. They're known as bioterrorists in the game. And the government is transporting them in the beginning of Second Son, and the transport like gets knocked off. Like we don't know what happens, but something happens. Delson goes to like drag a body out, like help them out, and his powers turn on. And he figures out that he's like he's a conduit. Yeah. So I don't know. Like there's probably a backstory that's like Cole did all this. Because of Cole, everyone hates the conduits because that's really like what the moral of the story is.
Well, that's what they need to write. Like the good ending was Cole activating and killing every conduit, even the unactivated ones. If you had the gene, people were dropping all over the world. They showed like people in like tribes in Africa, right, just down or whatever. So it doesn't make any sense. But I'm sure they'll write around it, or like they talk about just start fresh and not really reference it too much, not really get into the minutia of what happened.
Yeah, they have to kind of though. Maybe it'll be dead drops or something that explains it.
Sure.
Yeah, because they do say like it killed everyone.
Also, I'll put it out there now. My prediction is that Cole will appear in this game.
So you don't think he's dead?
He will not be dead. He will at the very end pop up. He'll be a villain or something. I mean, like he'll be somehow involved. Guess. After the end credit sequence, Delson's like whatever the hell on the road doing his next thing, and he'll run into Cole.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
maybe he's the Smoke Man.
Maybe he is the Smoke Man.
What?
What's cool about this too is that they figured out. At least according to the Game Informer story, Sucker Punch examined the trophies of the game and figured out the way most people played and made that canon. So
most people played good?
Yeah. So it would have been interesting to see if they had to kind of make the other decision.
Did they talk in this article about if it's your choice is back? Are you going back?
They say that there are choices, but what would be interesting is if you can somehow transfer your PS3 data.
Sure.
To PS4 as well.
Yeah. And I'm interested in the smoke stuff as far as they're saying right now that it's going to be this, a harder currency to come by than electricity, but that doesn't sound like fun. Don't give me a superpower game where I can't use superpowers. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you rather have electrical powers in a city where it's constantly raining?
Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is I bet it's not as rare as they think it is.
That's probably true. And it's not his only power. So like they said, they're not ready to talk about the other powers. They said. But there will be other powers. So kind of like Infamous 2 with fire and ice in addition to the electricity. I'm sure that they'll give Delson something else.
You're probably just exploding a lot of things. Making cars blow up, making cities blow up.
Cool. I'm excited, man. Yeah. I think the Infamous games are so good.
Me too.
Gameplay-wise, so tight. much fun to play.
Yeah, they're so much fun to just fly around that city and just do whatever you want.
I agree. And I'm glad that they're returning to it. I was getting scared that they weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
And it was probably up to them, too. I'm sure Sony didn't be like, we need more Infamous, because those games don't sell great. They sell well. Yeah, a couple million, probably a few million.
Users lose all sense of reality and enter another world. Remember, do not
not underestimate the power of PlayStation.